Josh Earnest, grab audio soundbite 25. This is how the Democrats in Chapter 89,000 in the Democrats trying to help the Republican Party. This afternoon, White House press briefing. CNN reporter at InfoBabe, Michelle Kaczynski, said 25% of Americans in a poll support Trump's plan to halt allowing Muslims into the country temporarily. Now, in other polls, it's much more than 25%. In many polls, it's a majority. But I guess she's talking about her own poll at CNN. Anyway, 25%. Does that number surprise you, Josh? I mean, as much as you can separate out one particular view from the majority view, the numbers don't lie. That's a big chunk of people, Josh. And to what would you attribute that amount of support for something that you described as morally reprehensible?
What we are seeing here is a pretty cynical attempt on the part of one Republican politician to capitalize on people's fears and anxieties and divide the American public solely for personal political gain. And that's offensive. The continued insistence on the part of Republican candidates for president and other leaders in the Republican Party that they would vote for somebody, potentially, for president of the United States who holds such offensive, divisive views that run counter to the very values of this country is in and itself alarming and does not bode well for the future of the Republican Party.
Really care about that, huh? Really care about the future of the Republican Party, eh, Josh? Josh, I think practically every one of them has denounced him, haven't they? Except Ted Cruz, every other Republican candidate, every Republican that you can name has denounced Trump on this. Paul Ryan, Dick Cheney, there isn't a Republican outside of Cruz that hasn't denounced Trump. What more do you want here? But here again, I have to listen to this guy start preaching to us about American values. And I'm sorry, the Democrat Party just doesn't hold them as far as I'm concerned. A party that openly promotes the slaughter of babies in the womb and then dissecting them for body parts for sale does not have any credibility with me talking about American values, because I'm sorry, those aren't American values. And I could list a bunch of things just like that that are reprehensible to me. Go back. Josh Earnest, this is un-American. It's unacceptable. It violates American values. Grab soundbite number 2 again. This is Sam Donaldson, ABC News, back on April 7th of 1980.
After meeting with his advisors for 2.5 hours to review the decisions, Mr. Carter came down to the press room to announce them.
The militants controlling the embassy have stated they are willing to turn the hostages over to the government of Iran. But the government has refused to take custody of the American hostages. This lays bare the full responsibility of the Ayatollah Khomeini and the Revolutionary Council.
The president ordered 4 steps immediately. A complete break in diplomatic relations. Iranian diplomats must leave the United States by tomorrow midnight. Official sanctions prohibiting exports to Iran. An inventory of frozen Iranian assets of over $8 billion. And a virtual shutting off of all Iranian immigration into this country by refusing new visas to Iranian citizens. Moreover, the president warned these 4 steps may be just the beginning.
Other action may become necessary if these steps do not produce the prompt release of the hostages.
All right, now, I've had people say to me, Rush, wait a minute, there's a little bit of a difference here. Jimmy Carter is banning people from a country. And Trump's moratorium is people of a religion. That's one of the great sticking points of all this. It's an ideology. It is I think that comparison kind of misses the point. We're talking about the same types of politically motivated people here. In the kinds of people Jimmy Carter wanted to send home, wanted to register, and would permit or would deny entry to the country. This is only a common sense that all Trump said was we need a moratorium until we can figure out what the hell is happening here and how best to deal with it.